Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Hope everyone had a wonderful evening. Welcome back to another day and another segment of the market preview. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Tesla Force. Good morning, Amit. Good morning. Good morning. Bottom must be in. Is that a be in? Yeah, the bottom must be in. I mean, we're rallying a bit. We had initial jobless claims come in a little better than expected. Remember the big thing today: Fed Chair Powell testimony and ISM non-manufacturing. Those are really gonna move things in a bit. So I mean, Powell's testimony goes on for a while. So keep that in mind. But the ISM will definitely move stuff. So that's where we sit. Countdown to this. Now, this might change again if he says anything weird, but again, it's priced in pretty much a 25 basis point hike. We'll check in on stuff. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Long-time viewers and subscribers, please like the videos and leave some comments. And other stuff, we'll peek in at Best Buy, which is up, and Kroger, which is up. So that was some earnings that were out this morning. Let's see who else is here. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Wavy. There we go. Amit. Hey, Ken, another shout out to your video. I mean, your intro. Great job. Again, second Green Thursday of the year. Who knows? Who knows where this is going to end up? Again, longer term bearish, short term. Yeah, we're going to watch where it closes today. Watch where it closes today, because right now we're above that key 62.5. And just because we're above this 62.5 does not mean we're going to recent highs. It means we're favoring higher price action. And my next thing based on the markets, I'm really going to target the declining 50 and the rising 200 and the 75% harmonic retracement and the 25% harmonic extension. So we have a lot of key resistance plus this prior little rotation swing high. So that's my next major target if it does rally up. You can see nothing going on over. I mean, we had this little nothing. We had nothing going on in Europe. You can see we had the significant level 43.92. Could not get above, could not get above. Finally, just getting above in the last hour. So now that is support. Your first level of support is that 43.92. I already went over to levels. The upside 44.36 and then 44.65 to about 44.75. And that can be fine-tuned with some shorter term harmonics. What would change all that from bullish mode today? We'd really have to break down. First minor support was about 43.45, but really it does not get to bearish until you get back below 4,300, and I would be watching about 42.82 area. Checking in on the NASDAQ, also finally above this 14,264 significant level. Let's check in on the bigger picture. Still up against the daily rotation zone, but if that breaks, I'm going to 14,427. Then we have a cluster at 14,491 to 14,500. I just target 14,500. And if we really get a move on, my next significant level is 14,600. It just happens to come in here. And above there, the 75% harmonic comes in at 14,700. Just so happens they're round numbers. What would change me into bearish mode? Again, this 14,264 is now support. We drop below there. I have a minor support cluster, 14,125 to 14,150. But really, I don't shift to aggressively bearish mode until back below about 13,900. Dow, again, still hasn't got to the rotation zone yet, so that's going to be my first target, 34,207. Then above that, 34,302, and the 62.5 is 34,412. So those are our levels on a really strong rally. Remember, we're into a clear path, which would then target upwards of the 200 and the 75% harmonic on a strong rally. Now, this could all shift in a moment's notice based off what Powell says. So I'm not thinking he's going to say anything that will really rile the markets. So we could then, again, have another rally day. And remember, tomorrow is non-farm payroll Friday. So that's going to also be another key thing. So there's a bunch of stuff. We're just going to have to watch it short term. In order for me to get bearish on the Dow, first, now returning to about 33,950. Then you see you got minor support 33,775, but until it really breaks below about 33,142, I can't get in super bearish. This would put me in minor bearish, but super bearish wouldn't be till 13,133 area. Russell, it'll be interesting. It's closing in on the 50, and remember, we still have this double bottom. I'd be shocked, but you know, you got to trade the technicals. That's all we can do. But overhead resistance coming in about 2081. Crude pulling back. Again, we had 115.64 area, got to 116.57. Now pulling back. A bunch of people are probably going to be trading this earlier as a head and shoulders, and we did already hit that. I was watching that for a completion move down, which we already got. So just going to see now in this bounce, this area of about 111 is resistance. And this looks like at least a short-term topping. This is very overextended. So I am definitely going to start watching for the bigger pullbacks. And this is why I talked about not chasing this, because your stop really has to be all the way down here. And if you got in up here, your reward to risk is horrible, at least from my perspective now. Again, I'd rather not chase. I'd rather watch for that key pullback and then a re-entry signal for another move higher. Don't be afraid of missing out on moves. Just watch for those key pullbacks and then watch for whatever entry signals you follow. If I see a good one, I will let you know. Gold pretty flat today. Inside bar so far. Silver pretty flat, but we do have a minor double top. Now that it's actually a triple based off this spike high. I'm going to be watching this, just outpacing this move right here though. You see, because we really reset this with this little move. So I'm just going to be watching this coming back to this key support of about 25.17. Because again, I'm looking to trade between harmonic levels in their notes. You can see that strong reversal yesterday, holding back at the daily rotation zone. If this does start rotating back down, my next area of major support I'm watching is this prior 62.5 harmonic, then the lows. Let's check in on those yields real quick. Yields are just sitting here again at 1868, but the key area I'm watching is about this 1921. You start closing above there from a yield basis. I'm watching for a return to the highs in yields. Again, the technicals we use work across everything. So we'll just peek at cryptos because we have in Bitcoin have this double bottom pattern, which is still not confirmed or trigger, basing right below this 44,585 significant level. Back to some stocks, and I'll see what the comments are. By the way, Tesla slightly up pre-market. Next major target for me is about 914 and then 937. Again, I will watch longer term for another major rollover play, but everything's just gravitating up right now, and the macro will trump the micro. Best Buy up here, I wouldn't be surprised. There's stopping point, but on a continued rally, my target's just a 200 and then another rollover move. Again, they have they only slightly beat on earnings, missed on revenue, but it's getting moved up. I didn't get to see all the comments yet. I have to go back and look at that to see what else was bullish from anything that was said. Kroger beat pretty big on earnings and revenue. I have to go back and see comments on Kroger too, but we have 51.64 and 53.13 as the next target areas higher. You're trading 52.09. Again, this is the grocery stores are still strong plays for me, even with the inflation, because people have to eat. And so pullbacks to even $50 are still buyable. Let's see where we sit. Could you please draw the downtrend line on the S&P minis? I want to make sure I'm drawing the potential top of the upward bias move. Sure. I assume you want the daily. initiating point, defining point, and look at that. I just sometimes don't put all these on the charts because sometimes people complain that they're getting too cluttered, but look, what does that reinforce? Right here. Here's the major resistance, especially on a closing basis. Even it spikes through there, you have a downward sloping trend line, 250, harmonic extension, harmonic retracement, wonderful target right there. And prior mini swing highs, I said before. So there's that options 22. That's your trend line for the S&P. Good morning, Kalani. ES over major resistance at 4,400. Yep. So 200-day is close, 44.60. Yeah. Right in here. Everything's pointing to that. But again, everything will trade off the macro. But if you had to, this is still buyable now. Very short-term pullbacks for a push higher. Again, this could only last through tomorrow morning. That's why I'm stressing that. I think we reject off the 200-day, not strong enough yet. Again, it's not just a 200-day for me. It's all this area that's converging here. So that would be a wonderful target and for profit taking and definitely raising up a stop aggressively on anything with the S&P. Notes has a potential double bottom on the 4-hour. Thank you, Sterling. Let's see. Yep. That is a potential double bottom. Did not drill down to that yet. And ooh. And I'd pretty much use the conservative targets, and that would just take me back to this significant level and the full target in this clear path move and from that double top breakdown zone. So that's the targets I would use on any long notes trades. Just curious, where would you see long entry on Tesla? Not playing it, but curious because we were looking like a weekly close above the previous candle. Where would I play a long entry? Again, a long entry on Tesla would be a very short-term play, and that would be above yesterday's high. On a breakout move above yesterday's high, which we are above, we're above this key area, so I just watch for this gap and any pullbacks, even pullbacks 881 would be support that I'd watch for momentum higher. So that's where we sit. And here's why even that aggressive, yeah, we could finish the week higher, but again, you still have trading tomorrow. But here's why it's a super aggressive play on that weekly candle, because you're still slamming into the weekly rotation zone and major overhead resistance. So this, you still haven't made, still haven't changed. Keep in mind, we're still making lower lows and lower highs, even on a weekly basis with this move up. So a long-term play, there's nothing long-term there yet for me in Tesla. Do you see a potential double top on this SPY 4-hour daily? Yeah. Yep. There's a potential double, but again, that's just going to be a breakdown and you're back into the clear path move. So that would be a key level, but that's also, if you look at here, and then we go back to the futures. This is what I was talking about yesterday too. We go back to there. That's going to be roughly a break, below this where I said I'd get really bearish again. And then you get down to this 42.54 and we're into that clear path. So here's how I tie it together. You see this clear path on there. So if I saw the futures getting down here, your SPYs are probably going to be in the same vicinity into this clear path, and that's a very tradable double top. How would you trade it? I'm play the futures, but I'd trade it inverse ETF single leverage if it got down here. And where would those targets go? Right in front of the clear path, even if you use aggressive targets. Now, this could get blown out with this. Remember, this could get blown out right now once it does open. So this starts a rally mode. That would be off the table for using those targets. I'd still watch that same breakdown point. Okay? But yes, that's how you play it. And that's why I recommend tying stuff in with this from the spiders into the futures, because it will really start improving your trading. And again, if you're watching the Qs, tie the stuff in with the Qs, which I haven't looked at in a while because I don't actively trade the Qs, but I tie it in with the NASDAQ futures. And you can come up with some really good trades looking at the combo. Wavy will be watching that double. Okay, that's where we sit. I'm going to finish up my market prep for the open. Thank you for watching with me. Again, market overview this afternoon with Bob. So we will get doing that. I hope this morning analysis does help everybody, and I'm not just talking to myself. It seems to, because we got a bunch of people showing up. So, by the way, if you are new here and come across these live streams, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term viewers, who there are many, please click that like button and leave some comments. And with that, I will talk to everyone. Plan on 3:30 Central Time. Unless something major groundbreaking happens, then I'll pop on an earlier live stream, but not expecting that. So 3:30 Central with Bob Iacchino. Talk to everyone then. Bye for now. Thanks, Kalani.